Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Catholic Talk Show. Today, we're going to be analyzing, does Christian music suck or not?
That's right. We're going to look at some very bad examples of Christian rock and Christian music and show why it's not making rock or music better. It's just making Christianity worse.
So what you're going to get today is the bad, the good, and the ugly.
Let's face it, guys. I mean, we all have different musical tastes. That's for sure.
Sure.
We have all heard most of the songs, if not all of the ones that we're going to be playing today. Some performed on a level that might lift one's heart and minds to God. Some just comedic, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just silly and funny. But it makes you question. It makes you question Christian music. Like, what is it? And as a phenomenon, where are we going with it?
I don't know, man. A lot of Christian music is so cringy. It is so awkward. And not only does it not really invite people in, I think it pushes people away in a lot of instances because it's so... Oh, man.
Terrible.
Bad.
It's
just bad.
I mean, it's inauthentic. It's basically just take any terrible pop song, replace the word baby with Jesus, and that's what these jackwads are doing. And it's terrible.
And the other thing, too, is it gives very amateur, if not horrible, musicians a place where people will listen to them because they're singing about Jesus.
And there's a distinction between lyrics that are influenced by Christian ideology that absolutely appeal to everybody and like, wow, like that was a great integration of a certain theology or certain value. But, you know, when people are just trying to make Jesus cool and fit in, like, it's a bad idea. And I think we're going to see some of those bad ideas. But before we get started, we want to say a big shout out to our patrons. We want to lift up a glass to you and appreciate all that you do. Today we are drinking a Stag's Leap Cabernet 2017, which is a very good year from what I hear, according to Ryan Delacroix.
It is. It is.
Is there a year you didn't like?
No, but my intel tells me that 2017 was a very good year.
So I received this as a gift from Mitchell, Candace, and Christina Marie. Mitchell came into the faith at the Easter Vigil.
Cool.
Beautiful.
And I baptized Christina Marie, their firstborn daughter.
Jeez.
And so cheers to you guys and a big shout out. And as we celebrate the faith,
Welcome home.
And truly, you know, we're wrapping a very successful day in the studio, and we figured maybe we'll just have a little fun with this one. And we've been asked by a number of our followers, like, hey, why don't y'all have another fun episode, have a drink, and you know, after a long day, they've really looked forward to pouring a glass with us. So here you go. Salute.
Salute.
Right.
So we're going to be having a little bit of fun today. Where are we starting out? Is this Christian rap, Christian rock?
So here's one of the worst.
Good, bad, or ugly?
Here's one of the worst inclinations of Christian musicians. Now, church is where bad musicians' careers go to die, okay?
No, they go to keep alive in a very bad way.
It's the Walking Dead of musicians' careers.
That's right.
Like, dude, don't do that to your church. You just don't. Look, if you're a failed musician, man, maybe just God has other plans for you, you know? It's cool.
Yeah,
don't go and inflict.
Don't force it, bro.
Because they're not playing. They're inflicting this.
They're inflicting.
They're inflicting this on this congregation.
That's very clear.
Now, one of the worst tendencies of Christian music creators is to take a popular song and change the lyrics to something Christian.
So creative.
It's so creative.
It's just creative.
Okay.
You're just a hater.
Now,
what are you talking about in particular?
For the
Like,
record,
what is this
For
here?
the record, if it was satire, like Weird Al Yankovic, there's
Brilliant.
Right, but when you start like infusing Christ into that, it's like
And you're going to enter into the culture that way?
No.
So now I'm very curious.
So here's a good example of that. And I think, now, this is not my style, but I think
We're
I played this for you guys.
starting off with the ugly.
We're starting off with the very ugly. Okay, you guys ready for this?
Oh my goodness. Becky, look at her Bible. It is so cute.
Oh my God.
One of those preacher guys' girlfriend. But who understands those preacher guys?
No.
They only talk to her because she looks like whether to read that. Okay.
Don't do it.
Look at
That's
it.
about to happen. You know this is going to happen. This is getting inflicted
do
on
this.
So righteous.
I like big bubbles and I cannot lie. You Christian brothers can't deny. Walks in with a KJV and a bookmark in Proverbs, you get stoked.
Oh my goodness
Like one of those large ones with plenty of space in the margins. Oh baby, I wanna read with you, cause your Bible's got pictures. You sold me, but that book you got makes
Me so holy.
This
is actually pretty funny.
Bless me.
This is like that Weird Al
Yankovic.
Yankovic.
I saw her praying while I was DJing. She had grace, pretty face. She ain't going down to the bad place. I'm tired of heathen guys saying they like pocket size. She had a pack much book. So fellas, fellas, if your girlfriend's got the book, well read it, read that holy book, baby. Got NIV with a ribbon bookmark.
Oh my God, this is actually funny, man.
This is brilliant, dude.
Baby got NIV with a ribbon bookmark.
NIV with a ribbon bookmark.
NIV with a ribbon bookmark.
Oh, man.
When was this produced? What year is this?
I have no
This
idea.
is
This is great, dude.
Gotta be
that
90s.
was okay.
That was funny.
That was funny.
That was
That's
good.
satire.
That was good.
That was
That's
satire.
exactly what
That
I
was
said
good.
before.
That was
Yeah.
really a prophetic
Exact-
statement, dude. That was perfect.
Well, you know, prophetic me so holy.
Fellas, do you like big books?
I cannot
lie.
No, I don't. I want them small.
Okay, so that was kind of a funny example, but here's one that I think they were actually trying to be serious. And this, guys, this is
Horrible.
This is torment. This is torture.
I don't know how long
Now,
I'm
for
gonna be
anybody who
on
has women and children listening, you know, it might be time to put them away because this is just so terrible. There's no profanity. You're just not going to get this out of your head. It sucks. All right, ready?
Really?
This
Do I
sucks.
even want to listen
Dude,
to
this
this?
sucks so bad. I hate that we're about to do this, but okay, here we go.
You have a little enjoyment out of this. I
Got
can
a
see it
little
in your
dark
eye.
streak.
Come on, everybody, all over this place. I don't care how young you are, I don't care how old you are, kick your shoes off in this place.
Wow, look at this cat.
And while you're down there, grab a couple socks.
Dude, you're not making Jesus cool. You are not. You are making, no, dude.
Come on.
Hold on, let him talk.
Yeah, chill. Calm
Everybody
down.
gonna grab something to spin.
Oh Lord.
Okay, yeah, where's this going?
You guys ready?
Please rock my world, but I don't think you will.
Adam, you guys ready?
Adam's ready. I guarantee Adam's
hear
ready.
that?
Come
You hear
on,
the
put
feedback
those
of
things
the-
up. Spin your shoes, sock keys, I don't care.
What's on the drummer's head?
Dude, I don't know. Is this what
Everybody, you're
Protestants
not
do?
spinning anything.
This is weird, dude.
Come on, grab something.
That church has been shut down for 10 years.
I'm sure there was a scandal there, dude.
A sock scandal.
So they all pulled off their stinky socks and they're waving them in the air?
Let's sing this.
This is not making Christianity
spin
cool.
Me right round, Jesus right round, like a record, Jesus right round,
With
round,
socks.
round. You spin me right round, Jesus right round.
Jesus,
like
you
a
spin me
record,
around
Jesus
like a
right
dirty
round.
sock.
Sing it up.
This dude is just replacing the word baby with Jesus to some 80s Kajagoogoo junk, man. This is wrong.
You spin me right round.
Okay,
Jesus
that's
right
enough. I'm
round.
done. I'm
listen,
done, dude. No.
listen.
No.
Face your fear.
You spin
Face your
me-
fear.
It's not fear.
It's not fear.
disgust.
It's just, yeah, it's time. Let's move on to the next one. Bah.
Let's
Bad.
Google that church and find out if they're still around.
Bad,
But see,
bad.
how is that a worship service? How does that have anything
Why
to
does
do?
socks like spinning, like the smell of that room now? Like,
Dude, how does that have anything to do
like
with,
we
with
have
the creed?
incense.
Bad
We have
idea.
incense. Like the smell today in the church was
Amen.
beautiful.
I love that
I just
incense.
smelled it. It was beautiful. Socks running around like that. Hey, everybody, we're gonna have adoration instead of the incense. We're gonna talk about Jesus running around,
Everybody
round,
pull off
baby,
a sock.
right. Everybody
Could you
pull your
imagine
socks
that?
off.
Everybody take your sock. Bend over, take off your sock.
Could you imagine how your parishioners would act if you pulled that junk?
I mean, he
If
wouldn't do that.
I would
but
never, ever do
Oh, well,
that.
I know.
We're
But-
not even talking
But
about
this
that.
happens, dude. This
No.
happens what people call churches.
Well, the interesting thing about Catholic churches, we are so established in our ritual worship
Yeah.
that something like this is so foreign Like this wouldn't even go over well at a youth conference. You know, it really wouldn't.
He looks. Did you guys ever watch Righteous Gemstones?
Yep.
But he looks like the youth minister guy.
Okay, now we're
That
talking.
was just strange.
We're talking about youth ministry, right? Dude, I went to Catholic school, and I remember like music class. They would make you do like cringy, terrible.
These things like explode when you eat them.
You got to eat the whole thing.
Father
man.
Rich is
It's
eating
a
the
pepperoncini,
pepperoncini, man.
I love it.
Dude, you're like, they would make the kids do these really terrible songs. This is, and then, you know, kids want to do it because they're young or whatever. This is, and I don't know if there's anything in the Dallas Charter about making kids sing terrible Jesus songs.
But there should be.
But there should be. And here's
An
a prime
addendum.
example.
That's
Here-
grooming.
That's
Addendum. Addendum.
Check this out. Dude,
Boys
Dang.
and girls, the Lord Jesus Christ is the
I'm
one
already scared.
who gives us new life, and he's doing a new thing for us.
this is Father Rich when he was a kid.
You know he's doing it. God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it.
What is he
God
saying?
is doing a new thing.
God is doing
You
a
know
new
who's
thing.
Doing it? Who's doing it? God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing
Actually, I
it.
do see
Yo,
a lot of
who's
myself
doing
in
it?
this.
God is doing a
We
new
didn't do a Where
thing.
Are They Now
My
video
God
on
is
some of
doing
these
a
kids.
brand new thing. What's it?
This guy is, he became the singer of Creed, actually.
Faithful, I'm into his word.
Isn't this the Cardinal Bishop of San Diego?
I look down through the ages and you will find God doesn't change, but he knows the time. From harp, piano, the song to rap, you know. God's with us, so I cannot lack it. So God is doing a new thing.
Poor kid.
God bless
Dude, if I was this
That's
dude's
child
friend,
abuse.
if I was this dude's friend, this would be his ringtone. Whenever you call me, this would be. He's like, hey man, what's going up? I'm like, not
That's
much.
total child
Can
abuse.
you make that my ringtone when I call you?
Yeah, just hanging out, man. God's
God is
doing a new thing.
God is doing a new thing.
Dude, that's. Don't
Okay,
make
can we
kids do
play
that.
a good song though?
Hey, it got 2 million views though.
Wow.
He ain't getting paid
That's
from
more
it.
views than any video we've ever done.
That's true. He's killing it. Dude, that kid's killing it,
That
man.
kid is completely outpacing us.
God bless you, man. That's beautiful.
So, what's an example of something like a Christian song that you guys like? So who's like an artist that you do like?
Well, you know, first and foremost, Lecrae, I think, is because we haven't touched on any
Rap
yet, and I'm a
What
big.
do you call
Chance the
Baby's Got
Rapper?
Book, dude?
That is satire.
That's
That is-
satire.
That is weird.
Hunter,
Al
it's funny.
Catholicism,
And it's good.
It was excellent.
It was good.
I give that a thumbs up.
Yeah,
do
I'm gonna
too.
give that. That's really good.
And
Yeah.
speaking of thumbs up, if you haven't given us a thumbs up yet,
What's wrong with you?
what's wrong with you?
Why you do that?
Come on.
do that for?
Subscribe right now if you're on YouTube. Make sure that you click that bell so that everything we produce populates in your feed and you don't miss any cool Catholic Talk Show content. And we want to give a shout out again to our patrons. If you're considering becoming a patron, go to CatholicTalkShow.com/Patreon, and we've got really cool gear to send your way.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what do you want me to play? That's something that you guys like.
No,
Well, he
I
likes
want you to
Lecrae.
play. I want you to play some Lecrae.
Lecrae, never heard of him.
This is great. He talented lyricist.
He is.
Very, very. His flow is just absolutely mainstream. He could compete with the best, and he is a true blue follower of Christ. And his lyrics just showcase that in a beautiful way.
All right, here's Lecrae.
Pictures of the family. Nice
Is that
cornrows.
is that
Nice
a
cornrows.
is that a Last Supper shirt he's wearing?
That's the Last Supper.
His production quality is just far superior than anybody else in the Christian rap world.
I don't know. This ain't doing nothing for me.
Well, you're not you're not your wife, Kelly. Kelly would appreciate this right now.
I'm
And
sorry.
you didn't- I grew up in a neighborhood where it was like white and black, and we hung out at the black folk house, and we ate all day, and they partied, man.
Well, that's cool,
Like
but
they just party, and they were God-loving people. That's
Yeah,
it. right there.
I've never. This is just bringing back a lot of sentiments, man. A lot of memories. So yeah, for me,
I would say this. I think this is a really good portrayal of, of how
Family.
the African American community really is. I mean, so many times in media and culture, they get such, they highlight the bad things of their culture, just like they could do to ours. But this shows how, black folks really are. They're about family. They're about faith. They're about, traditions and generations. And this, so now it's not my kind of music.
This isn't popularized like through the magnifying lens of these massive record labels that are just pushing out materials that absolutely, show debauchery and every type of, worldly gain as being something to pursue.
Yeah.
Like he's pursuing in this song, he's pursuing family dynamics and he's celebrating that in a beautiful way and saying that his family's a blessing from God. And I actually have never heard this song in particular. I listened to a lot of his older
got
stuff.
30 million views,
but
man.
he does. God bless him, man. And I
great.
appreciate
My
his
kids
contribution.
and I listen to him a lot. Chance the Rapper, fair warning, he does cuss in some of his songs. From Chicago, very rough neighborhood, struggled through having a child out of wedlock, sticking around his girlfriend, but a fascinating musical figure in our world today. He wears a hat that has a 3 on it for the Holy Trinity.
He's a good dude.
Play Blessings. You're going to hate this because he actually remade a song that you probably don't like, but the way he did it was amazing. But play Blessings from Chance the Rapper.
So this is 2 songs called Blessings in a Row by rappers.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys really have a very broad musical
Oh, no,
taste.
you want some more? I got plenty more.
Okay. Oh, and this is also featuring Ty Dolla $ign.
So this is Chance the Rapper, Blessings, and we're going to be able to see the lyrics. For people that don't follow rap, you're going to be able to follow it. Ryan Shield.
Okay, yeah, because I
know you don't.
I
We all know you don't.
Praise him.
You're going to want to listen to the whole song.
I'm gon' praise him till I'm gone. When the praises go up,
the blessings come down. When the praises go up, the blessings come down.
Beautiful, man.
That's good.
Jazzy fresh right there.
It is jazzy fresh.
You guys are jazzy fresh.
I like it.
It's like blessings keep falling in my lap. It seems like blessings keep falling in my lap.
The blessings keep falling into
I
rap.
don't make songs for free, I make them for freedom. Don't believe in kings, believe in the kingdom. Chisel me into stone, prayer whistle me into song air. Dying laughing with Krillin saying something about blonde hair. Jesus, black life ain't matter. I know I talked to his daddy. Say you the man of the house now. Look out for your family. He has ordered my steps, gave me a sword with a crest, and gave Donnie a trump in case I get shortness of breath.
I'm gon' praise him till I'm gone.
This is great. Can we cut it and go to the next verse? He does a thing on Jericho. That's awesome.
Really?
That's awesome. You ever heard this song?
No, I haven't.
Dude, this album is unreal.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've never actually heard this before. I've listened to a number of his interviews and his what he represents and how he holds himself. I mean, the guy is very he's just integrity, man. He's awesome.
He doesn't sign on with record companies.
No.
He does everything himself with his friends in a studio. The songs that he produces, the more darker ones, really just reveal like the sinfulness of his childhood and the people that he was around. But he couples that with the conversion that he had and his faith in God.
Now, would you say this is Christian music, or is this a Christian man making music? I think
that's where I hope to come with this conversation.
The whole conversation needs to move around that point because here's where Christian values can influence the musical scene, and clearly the man is a musician. I think where people are desperate to enter into the musical scene, and then they'll
use Christianity.
Exactly, they use Christianity.
You're a Christian, and you want to be a musician.
Exactly,
because you see all these musicians, and you're very. You're gravitating towards them like, wow, I want to be a musician. Like, I want to be a movie star. I want to, You know,
How many people look at Hillsong, for example, in Christianity, if it is Christianity? I mean, they're representing a theology that is so heretical.
Yeah.
But
We'll play one of their songs later.
But you know, like the whole sense of like how popularized that is. I want to be a Christian artist and enter into that field.
I want to be a speaker,
and I want to be that happens.
Be an artist.
Even in the Catholic Church
100%.
that happens. And it's like I want to be this and step
It's a
into
human
the lights.
condition.
Yeah.
Which is why if we move this discussion to its sort of finality, what you've got and what you're trying to say is a good musician who has faith in God can produce amazing things without being a Christian artist.
Like this is art.
Listen to this.
This is art here.
This verse here, yeah.
All right, so we're starting at
He's talking about worldly possessions, and then he goes into Jericho.
All right, so we're starting this at 150.
Nicest hotels on the 59th floor, with the big wide windows, with the suicide doors. Ain't no blood on my money, ain't no Twitter in heaven. I know them drugs isn't close, ain't no visit in heaven. I know the difference in blessings and worldly possessions, like my ex-girl getting pregnant and her becoming my everything. I'm at war with my wrongs. I'm writing 4 different songs. I never forged it or forfeited. I'm a force to be reconciled. They want 4-minute song. You need a 4-hour praise dance performed every morn. I'm feeling shortness of breath, so Nico grab you a horn. Hit Jericho with the buzzer beater to end the quarter. Watch brick and mortar fall like dripping water.
That's phenomenal.
All right.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's jazzy too.
Like I was
Jazzy.
saying, this is a good musician who is not inflicting himself on Christianity because he's not good at music.
No.
Now, we did an episode we talked about the worst, particularly Catholic songs, right? And those are, bad examples of composition and in many instances of performance. But we did this one song that, I got to be honest, has been stuck in my head ever since we did it. And it's a perfect example of church music gone awry. Okay, now you guys probably remember this one. Ready?
One of our most successful shows.
It's because of this song.
Jesus is a friend of mine.
I'm so glad that this is back into my brain now.
See, now, I'm bringing it up for a particular reason. Number one, to infect your head with it.
And now everybody who's listening in or viewing is now infected.
My life as it should be. He taught me how to turn my cheek when people laugh at me.
I think that's enough.
Okay. Now, again, that's enough, but I did it for a purpose.
Yes, you did.
It sticks.
No, because it's been remixed, and now someone has taken that song and done a death ska remix of it. A death metal ska remix. You ready for this?
Ska. I love it.
I grew up with ska. This is something you would do. Sounds like Cookie Monster.
This is pulled off pretty well, too.
This is pretty good.
It's certainly more musical.
I mean, if this is what they actually did, it would have been awesome.
Okay, definitely.
Well,
Going to be difficult.
I think it's an
to
improvement.
get this out of my
I think
head.
they improved on that
They
song.
did.
It was certainly more
A
musical.
funny guy
That was funny.
improved it.
That was funny.
They
Yeah.
made it funny,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
makes it okay to
And
watch.
we need that.
Yeah.
We need that. We need to correct.
Wait. This one is hilarious. So talking about funny, me and Delacroix saw this one earlier.
It's hilarious.
This is pretty funny. And you had a really good insight about this. I'll let you get to that.
Keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours.
She's trying.
This is not my, no,
Oh,
no,
just
no.
wait.
It's like,
No.
Dude.
This is like something he's been working on at home, and he thinks it applies to every song, and he just came out and was like, yeah.
He's doing the same move over and over again.
This dude thinks he's Neil Peart or something.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Did they not have a rehearsal or anything?
Oh, buddy, this is bad.
Oh, do it, dude. Do it.
He's killing it, though.
Drum solo. Worship drum solo.
John Bottom, Moby Dick.
I did not see that coming.
Oh my God. Dude, what did you say about that?
See that coming.
This is why this should not be in liturgies. This should not happen in church because, dude, this can go wrong so quick.
Well, it just draws your attention directly to it. I mean,
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you
the
know,
movement of music.
You want music, like you want your guitar in your parish, put him in the back. Don't let nobody see him play.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know what I mean? Like,
you know, I think
all the choir lofts and everything, like,
there was some wisdom.
You don't need to know they're there.
We need to bring choir lofts back, and we've talked about this.
Just
get
do
out
a
of the
guitar
way.
player in the back of the church.
Well,
like,
no, it's
our
like
parish.
you know,
Our parish has. They're all wearing like, I don't know,
choir robes.
cassocks and choir robes.
Yeah,
because you know my pastor's like, I don't like that. They're right, near the praetorium or whatever is the
praetorium.
What is it called?
Sanctuary.
No. It's like next to the place where you step up and then there's the altar. What is that called?
Sanctuary.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The praetorium was like the Roman guard.
That was in the second year of the major seminary. Pointer finger.
No,
pointer
but
finger.
I mean, he says the same thing. He's just like, I hate that they're there. It's a distraction.
Dude, you're right. I don't like in the church I grew up in, the band. I mean, it's a full band. They got a bass player, they got a drummer, they got like 6 guitar players, and they're just right there, and it's competing for attention. Now,
it was the same thing at the Cathedral Basilica in St. Augustine for years growing up. Going in there, I mean, you remember this, Ryan. The choir and the organist, they were all tucked in the sanctuary. Mm-hmm. And it's absolutely distracting. So now I'm grateful for the renovation that we prepared for the 450th. And now the choir loft is back. And it is a breathtaking church. But the liturgical action that happens within the sanctuary is the focal point. And the movement liturgically draws you into an inspiration of transcendence while you're sitting there and encountering the epiclesis and literally God coming down to meet us through the power of the Holy Spirit over bread and wine, as the bread and wine is transubstantiated into the living presence of Jesus Christ.
Going, man, you're like,
it's like, no, it's like it draws you away. It just necessarily, even if you have choir robes. Yeah. So the hope of any music, if it's, say your church doesn't have enough money to have an organ or like other types of resources to be able to bring in a large choral effort, and you have somebody that is good-natured and a guitarist and a vocalist that can put together music for your congregation, it should be done with simplicity, beauty, and in the action of the congregation responding to what's happening.
We do chant. Like, even if I go to a mass that's not well attended, like, they don't have music. Mm-hmm. It's just chant.
Well, and a lot of churches can't do that.
Simple. It's just simple.
I'd rather have no music than bad music.
Yeah, but bad music is a matter of taste.
Can I share? Because you guys may think this is really bad, but I will share what I listen to, especially when I'm trying to get stuff done.
Oh no.
And it does have a little bit of Gregorian chant in it. So I'm going to just put myself out there. So if you could look up trap, rap, chant.
What the hell is this?
Just play it.
Orthodox choir Slavic trap music.
I'm glad I didn't finish the seminary.
No, not that one. I do like that one too. But go,
You like that
I
one
like
too.
that one too. But go to this down.
Pagano, I'm
This one
glad
right
I didn't
there.
finish the seminary now.
I got this in third theology.
Let's hear this.
I got this in third theology. My pastoral year.
Wait till this drops. Crank this up.
It's like Enigma.
Crank this up, Howard. Dude, I love this, dude. I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone when I'm listening to this.
I like it.
Dude, I love this stuff.
That's all right.
I
can handle
listen out
this.
rap.
Wait, no, there's no rap. It's,
good.
It's all chant. Then it starts slipping into like
some
exactly.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
I love how the video's doing that.
Dude, this is on my computer.
Bro.
This is thank you.
Thanks for the intro.
Yeah, man. I jam out to this stuff.
I mean, it's all right.
I love it, man.
I think it's
Especially
good.
when I'm working. Like
I
if I'm
love
in my
it.
office and I'm just zoned in on
Yeah,
something.
because that gives you the little.
Oh, exactly. I just gotta get jazzed up, man.
Does the beat make it better?
Yeah, dude. I love
You think
this.
so?
I love this.
I don't know.
I
You're
think
not
it
a
does.
hip hop guy.
I think it does.
You are not a hip hop guy. You're not a rap
I would
guy.
not listen to Gregorian chant with hip hop all the time, but this ain't bad.
There's no Enigma.
No, Enigma's bad compared to this. This is where they were trying to go.
Sad. Oh, no. Yeah, you know what? Actually, we're doing it. We're going to that.
No. I got some other songs I want to listen to.
I don't want to listen to you guys keep on hitting me
I
with
don't
rap.
listen to
No,
your
I got some good
songs.
ones.
I will calm my sensibilities and what I like listening to.
No, that's all right.
I might come- I may come back
I
with
could
them.
definitely see the appeal of that
Oh,
because
it's awesome.
they were.
Oh gosh, this is a horrible song.
So this was
No,
a-
you know what? Here's what I want to bring. You were.
Oh, I don't like
You
that
guys were
song.
like
talking
this song.
about, I guess, the kind of proper context or the placement of the music within a liturgy or within a church. You know, a lot of times how it's up front of the church, and you're making the point how it really should be back in the choir loft. One of the more, I guess, a modern innovation and a kind of a movement that I have a lot of concerns with is where praise and worship becomes the focal point of a person's spiritual life. And you see that in things like Hillsong, where there's nothing really of the sense of a liturgy. There's no sort of the sense of the sacrifice of a high priest, you know, through the persona Christi.
And in a lot of evangelical circles, you know, there's a lot of materials out there that preach an anti-ritual, you know, message. So, you know, the concerns of preaching an anti-ritual message and having a music centralized worship, you know, when that's placed in the centerfold of your worship and your church, the concern would be is that, okay, how does one not enter into a cultic worship of people that are
Of the musicians. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a concern. And you know,
Well, look at how our society, you know, idolizes musicians.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was
You
just
know, I
thinking
mean,
that.
like you look at them and like you look at like how people treat like Elvis or Michael Jackson or how they treated the Beatles. Like they, you know, they hyper fixate on
It's
them.
a movement of your soul towards a talent, a musical talent, or a song, or instead of
with talents and gifts comes blessing and curses.
Yeah.
And you know, we have it even in our Catholic circles, you know, like to be on a pedigree of Catholic speakers and to be up in this space. I want to be this musician, this speaker, this, you know, and now I travel the world and I travel the United States to do these types of things. It's an alluring position. And the temptation would necessarily be, I'm going to put myself out there and be loved by all of these people.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there in those types of tracks, but a lot of temptation.
Sure. I mean, I think a lot of people do fall to that temptation. You know, they start with good intentions and they do have good content. And, you know, even like these people in Hillsong, they're good musicians.
Very talented
They're very
musicians.
talented musicians.
I've listened to a number of their songs.
But, you know, I would have legitimate concerns about the fullness of the experience. You know, maybe they are getting some, you know, some inspiration, right? And maybe they are praising Jesus in a way. But I think that there's some things that are fundamentally lacking.
It stops
in that.
there.
It stops there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it stops there, and then there's a depravity.
That's a perfect because when you have liturgical music, the music continues to meet transubstantiation, continues to meet
the liturgical
epiclesis,
actions.
the liturgical action,
and this is where we earlier drew the line.
to response to.
Right. And this is where we earlier drew the line of a good musician who has faith, who's not singing Christian music, can inspire people, in my opinion, more because it's in the musical setting.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not in the worship setting.
Yeah. So let's take a look at what Hillsong does. I think this is a good example of what we're talking about in this context.
Yeah.
You know, worship's for everyone, and it involves everything in us. And I pray that tonight you wouldn't just watch an incredible night unfold before you, but just see it happen and not participate. But I'm believing that every one of us would lean in, press in towards God, and embrace all that He has. And the amazing promise of the Bible is that as we lean into God, as we draw near to God,
To have to explain it like that means that.
and that He comes to change us. And
Well, he's telling them, here's how you should feel when I start
Right.
playing. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of, you know, and musicians
It's
do this.
manipulation.
You know, and musicians will do this too. They're like, look, this next song is about, you know, it's an internal struggle that, you know, and they're preceding the emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, they're actually preceding it right now. They're all raising their hands.
Yeah.
Well, and when you look at production, and when I studied executive production out of John Paul the Great, you know, what you have with lighting, what you have with music, and how you guide, you know, these moments of climax, these moments of descent, these moments of drama, these moments of, you know, laughter, and it's all accompanied so that you can guide your viewer and the one who is subject to your production to these moments of experience.
Yeah, I mean, and music can have a visceral reaction on you. Did you ever
big
get
time.
goosebumps from hearing good music?
Yeah.
Oh,
it
of
can
course.
affect your body. And this is like engineered to elicit a response.
Yeah.
Now, see, this music's a bit breathy for me. I don't dig this music either, but I know
don't
a lot
either.
of people do. This dude discount Christian John Mayer.
Yeah, it is eerie. You know, but the quality and the texturizing of his voice and the emotion behind it.
Dude, this is a
like,
bigger concert than most people will ever go to.
Exactly. So, you
Yeah.
know, and in all honesty, like, I've never been much of a concert fan, and I don't like being around a lot of people, and I get kind of like, you know, I
That's
don't
nice.
like
The
that.
dude is playing a Duesenberg. That's a good guitar.
But you know, being in this environment, I would feel more inclined to be in this environment than another type of concert. Like when we were with Justin Bieber in that evangelical church and
the songs.
going with that ecumenical movement of LA, like, you know, those relationships were really important because we need to build ecumenism. We need to build ecumenical relationships and be in other environments to seek out relationships, to open up doors. And but it's like I feel more comfortable being in an environment like that than at another type of concert.
I'd rather be at a Black Sabbath concert.
In those, yeah.
I would.
And you know, like I look at this and I'm going, man, if there was Eucharistic adoration,
That's what we talked about that night.
everybody was honoring God in that, and they were singing to Him there.
Yeah.
Fine. You know,
But
they
that's
put this-
what was left wanting at the end of that night because it was a good message, a good biblical message, a great preacher. I mean, his delivery was great. The music was very, very good. It was amazing. The lighting, the environment, all of it was good. But all of us Catholics that were there were like, but there's
Jesus.
not like I'm built up, but I want to have an encounter with Jesus.
Because we all have had that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is wanting.
So I'm primed, and that's what the ecumenical officers were trying to do. Is like, okay, now how can we you know shepherd and pastorally care and pastorally lead people to the fullness in Jesus and the Blessed Sacrament?
Yeah. And this is what I would consider to be more of your, I don't know, I don't want to say better, but more of the spiritual side of worship. Like we've talked about some of these other songs and they're just dadgum silly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like God is not dead, He's alive, He's alive.
Yeah.
Like that's just so adolescent.
That's corny, dude.
It's adolescent spirituality. You know what I mean?
This is definitely of a higher musical caliber, and it's definitely. This is a very slick produced thing. Like, look, you can take a Hollywood movie and you don't agree with the message of the movie at all, but you end up watching that movie, you end up feeling the way that director, if they're good, wanted you to feel. And that's just that is a manipulation of the senses and of the intellect, and
with talent.
With talent.
Yeah,
you know, and a lot of people are led astray by talented people.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and that's why we always have to be discerning about what are the fruits, and we have to look into
and what's lacking though, because it's like you were saying, that's not completely devoid of fruits,
right?
But you know, try eating only fruits your whole life. You're gonna develop nutritional deficiencies,
right?
You know, and I think that's maybe my biggest objection to that stuff, is that
it's not all there.
It's not all there. It's empty calories a lot of times, at least in my view.
And we go back to the point of, okay, now you have these people performing worship, right? In the name of worship, right? And then you have bands who sing Chance the Rapper, you know, these other Lecrae, these other people that are singing, and they're just sharing their faith in a song, but they don't name
it worship.
They don't take their talent and move it towards some sort of like commoditized, you know, area of.
Well, I think it's the intentionality,
right?
They're trying to intentionally say we're creating a worship space. These other guys are saying, "Look, I am a Christian.
I love God, and I'm putting Him in my music
because it's part of me.
It's a part of me."
Yeah. Instead of saying it's like, "Look, there's an intentionality. We're going to create this type of mood. We're going to create this scene. We're going to create this scenario." These guys are saying, "This is who I am, and I can't hide it because it's so integral to who I am." And that's the kind of Christian music that I like, because it's not even Christian music. Right. It's just people authentic expressions of their life as a Christian, and that's always going to be more interesting
just their life, and then their faith in Christ becomes a part of that. It's incidental, right? It's an incidental art form, like.
I wouldn't even say it's incidental. I'd say it envelops who they are, and their music is an output of who they are in their Christian character. You know, it's not an incidental to them. It's fundamental.
Yeah, I think what I was saying
and
was
you
like
can
it's
see
incidentally a part of who they are. Yeah. It's not something that they're grasping towards artistically to make known as a place of convincing you to go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
they're displaying it in spite of themselves.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
They're saying, look, this is who I am, and this just shows because of who I am.
Yeah.
They're not creating it for a specific intent.
And you've got one of my favorite songs, No Hard Feelings by the Avett Brothers. I'm going to see.
This is a big shout out
at
to
Red Rock Amphitheater.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of the coolest.
Too bad you're not going to
concerts, dude. I know.
I think I've seen the Avett Brothers more than any other band, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think I've seen them like 6 times at this point.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is a good example of good dudes who are good musicians playing a song that is not a Christian song.
No.
But it is so imbued with Christianity, it's hard to
deny it.
Well,
yeah, it's hard to deny it.
This song, I'm going to give a shout out to Jerry Wilkes, who passed away. You know, so let's go ahead and start this song.
This is a beautiful song.
I'd like to share just briefly as the song cues up. You know, Jerry had throat cancer on his tongue, and he wound up dying, and he couldn't speak, and I was in the hospital with him. And he said he wanted this song to play at his eulogy.
Wow.
And
look at that. I have goosebumps. That's
God
good
rest
music.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, look. It's standing up.
Finally, lets me free.
Jerry Wilkes.
I'll be ready.
And this is like, it's very vulnerable. It's very vulnerable, you know?
It's beautiful, dude. I was right next to him, and he was holding my arm, and we listened to this song, dude, and went to, you know, I absolved him, and
when I lay down my fears,
that was the last time that I saw him, man.
Yeah. How old was this guy?
It's like in his 50s.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful guy.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
I mean, this song's a tearjerker.
Oh, it is.
It is.
When the sun hangs low,
and it's just dealing with death and accepting death, you know, and accepting the inevitability and your disposition towards it.
Any longer when the jealousy fades away and it's ash and dust for cash and lust, and it's just hallelujah and love and thought, love in the words, love in the songs
Bob Crawford.
they sing in the church, and no hard feelings. Lord knows they haven't done much good for anyone. Kept me afraid and cold.
You know, this is a perfect example of guys whose worldview has been fundamentally shaped by Christianity, who are Christians, who are excellent musicians, who are making a great song that is instinctually Christian.
This is my favorite.
This is the
part of
best
song.
one, yeah.
Finally lets me free. Where will I go? Will the train
Yeah, Bob Crawford does look a bit like an accountant. Great musician.
He's just doing this.
Or snow from the heavens. Will I join with the ocean blue, or run into a savior true and shake hands laughing and walk through the night straight to the light?
This part always makes me think of the dark night of the soul and walking through the night hand in hand and meeting a savior, you know?
Hard feelings. Lord knows they haven't done much good for anyone.
I mean, do you feel like you're listening to Christian music right now?
No.
Are you feeling spiritually moved though?
Yes.
Big time.
You know?
Big time.
And that
It's not manufactured.
This is the appropriate place for having music influenced by Christ and entering the culture in a powerful way.
witness.
And it is that, and that's where this needs to be, you know. And this shouldn't be ritualistically included in the liturgy, but this
ain't a
speaks
Sunday song,
so
man.
profoundly. Like,
Yeah, it ain't a Sunday song. It's just a song.
This adds to your life, you know? It really does.
yeah, this was the only song that we listened to all the way through, and it was worthwhile. And I didn't know that this was on the queue.
Yeah.
And definitely brought up a lot of memories with Jerry and to the Wilkes family, to Danielle, and you know.
But it belies a Christian approach to dying well, to dying without spiritual encumbrances, to die having made
what I was
peace with
saying
people.
was like, you know, to Danielle, to Delaney, to Davis, you know, my heart is still with you in that, and that you know, these types of songs, like that song will be forever in my mind and in my heart and my soul. And to be able to accomplish that as an artist and as a musician, like it breaks you down to the very fundamental realities of life and death, and the experience of life and the experience of faith, and looking at the most difficult, challenging things in life and having consolation in the face of it as a result of our faith, and putting music to it. Like that's that's it.
Yeah. I think that's a good song to finish off with. I mean, that is such a perfect cap to our conversation.
And there's more like it. Obviously, we don't have time to get into all of our.
Yeah, we wanted to hit
songs.
some Mumford Sons and Switchfoot, and like there's some really quality Christian rap, Christian rock, but there is definitely some very
bad stuff too.
Bad,
We
very,
did a show
very
on
bad
Black Sabbath
and
too.
deeply
I
ugly.
mean, like, you know.
And we did a show on Black Sabbath. That was a really cool one, and
awesome.
seeing those lyrics through a Christian lens was eye opening for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff out there, and I'm sure we've missed some, and you guys are screaming at us through the screen right now. Like, what about this and what about this? Put them in the comments. We'd love to hear them. You know, share them with other people, the things that have inspired you.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
you know,
link those video clips in comments too.
Yeah. You know, big shout out to our patrons again. You mentioned them. You guys enabled us to do this show. And I think this is a really fun episode and kind of a view into how we try to look at music and maybe different approaches to understanding how music can move you in a sense as a Christian, you know,
And
how
it was
to
great
really
hearing y'all's perspective on this because, you know, we all carry our own perspectives. They're generally in the same area, but to hear the nuances as a pastor, as a musician too.
And your perspective as well. I think
Just as a
this is a
listener.
great, this is a great conversation. We hope that you liked it as well. And again, we just want to give a big shout out to our partners, Exodus 90 as well as HALLOW. You know, both of those apps are just so effective in developing your spiritual life. And I know HALLOW's got a lot of great Christian music.
Yeah, HALLOW's got a
on
lot of
their
great
app.
music. They've got chant. They've got over 5,000 different prayer options. If you go to hallow.com/Catholic Talk Show, you can try the app out for free. They have sleep meditations. They have chant. They have, a lot of great Catholic music on there.
And
so
Matt Frad's got that
Catholic lo-fi, which is a great bag. It's kind of like your
I
your
have his
Orthodox
stuff
dub
on
trap.
my back, on my back track as I'm going through.
So great app for prayer resources. Check it out, hallow.com/Catholic Talk Show. And then you also mentioned Exodus 90. Now, Exodus 90 has a really great feature in far as your approach to music. One of the pillars of Exodus 90 is depriving yourself of media that is not helpful for you. And when you're going through Exodus, they encourage you to get rid of all the music in your life that does not have a spiritual character and is not making you better. Because, I mean, we all listen to music at times where it doesn't make us better. In fact, it probably incites us to kind of a little bit of hooliganism,
But
right?
it promotes good Christian material.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of people out there doing the Exodus 90 that listen to the Catholic Talk Show.
Yeah.
There was a whole group in Naples and some of my students.
I think James over at Exodus 90 gave a dispensation that when you're doing an Exodus, you're still allowed to watch us. I think that might be the case. I'm not sure.
We are partners in this work
right.
of culture, Catholic culture. But, like Exodus 90 does call you to good material. And it's nice to purge yourself of stuff that's unbecoming. And then what we want is that we're becoming, Von Balthasar, one of the greatest theologians in the 20th century.
What do you always say in statu vie, right?
Yeah, and statu vie is in the state of journeying, but what Balthasar would express was that we're in the state of becoming. And it's a nuance to the catechetical point that's made in the catechesis in statu vie. In the state of becoming, we're in a constant emergence in our humanity, interacting with God's divinity, and we are absolutely being divinized in Eastern theology, like concept. We're being divinized, and that is the constant state of becoming and growing. And we are so glad that you've chosen the Catholic Talk Show, that you're subscribed and you follow all of our platforms, because if that's happening with our material, we're most grateful to God, and we're most grateful for you connecting with us each and every week right here at the Catholic Talk Show, and we'll most certainly see you next week. God bless.